Okay na po.
Record na? Okay, so we'll continue on our discussion yesterday on registrability. So, na-discuss na natin ito, no? Yung A, yung B, flag, coat of arms, marks that are immoral, deceptive, or contains false connection with persons, institutions, beliefs, national symbols, or even names, portraits of person, whether dead, if that person happens to be the President of the Philippines. These circumstances shows marks that cannot be registered. So hindi lang sila, but also those marks that have likelihood of confusion or colorable imitation. We have discussed that one before. Now, colorable imitation refers to such similarity in form, content, words, sound, meaning, special arrangement, or general acceptance of the trademark or trade name. So, hindi lang the mark itself or the logo, but also the trade name. Sa pangalan ng isang business with that of the other mark or trade name in their overall concentration or in their essential, substantive, and distinctive parts as would likely mislead or confuse persons in the ordinary course of purchasing the genuine article. So meaning, when we say there is a colorable imitation between two marks or two trade names, merong confusion that happens on the side of the purchasers, no? And there are ways to determine if there is colorable imitation. So the first test is what we call the dominancy test. So from the word itself, we are going to look at the dominant features of a mark or a name. So when there is a dominant features, okay, the question that you have to answer is whether the use of the mark involved would be likely to cause confusion or mistakes in the mind of the public or deceive its purchasers. So under the dominancy test, ang titignan mo, or there is infringement or colorable imitation if there is an imitation with regards to the dominant features of a mark or a trade name. So the first example that we're going to discuss is in the case of the Tanduay Distillers Incorporated versus GSMI. So, alam niyo naman, itong sa side na ito, for a very long time, they have been using the word Ginebra. Diba? If you are not aware. No? And if you try to Google Ginebra, you will really see San Miguel Corporation's Ginebra. Wala kayong ibang makikita. But, Tanduay Distillers, being its competitor, no? Since nakita nila na malakas bumenta ang gin, so they tried to copy. Okay? There is a semblance dun sa shape, dun sa gin. They copied the word gin. I don't know. Parang gin yung pwede nakalagay dito. Okay? So, kumbaga, sa isang tao, normal na purchaser, kumbaga, there might be confusion. Don't think of it as you, okay? Kasi, let's be honest, guys, in the real world, when you're talking about the people per se, yung people na hindi nakapag-aral, people na hindi nag-graduate ng elementary or high school, they cannot decipher these things. But you can, kasi you can read it, di ba? The first thing you do is you read. But these people, they don't do that. No? Lalo na pag nakita mo, may gin, parang gin yung display sa benta, tapos ubos na yung gin ng San Miguel, at meron pa ito, they will buy that. No? And mistakenly, naakala nila, that is the Ginebra by San Miguel. So anong sabi ng court? So ang sabi ng court, they are liable for infringement and they are liable to pay exemplary damages at 2 million. No? So, exemplary damages alone is pegged at 2 million. When we say exemplary damages, these are damages or injuries for you to set as an example. Para hindi na maulit yan, magbayad ka ng tubig. Okay, so para hindi na maulit yung pangbayad. Anong sabi din ng court? The mere use of Ginebra by Tanduay in its Ginebra Capitan Gin products is trademark infringement by itself. No? So ang sabi dito, it ordered the Tanduay Distillers Incorporated to pay 50% of its Ginebra Capital total gross sales beginning in 2003. So imagine, 50% ng gross sales nila, i-share nila kay San Miguel. Imagine, no? So, hindi naman sila bawal na maggawa ng ganyang product. Siguro, iniba na lang sana nila talaga yung design. Diba? Yung talagang iba siya. You get what I mean? Kasi dito parang parehas siya eh. Yung talagang iba sana. Okay? Tanduay has designed its bottle and label to somehow make a colorable similarity with the bottle and label of Ginebra San Miguel. Okay, so that is the case of Tanduay Distillers Incorporated versus San Miguel Ginebra. Okay, the second test is what we call the holistic test. So, the difference between the dominancy test and holistic test is kapag sinabi mong holistic, you're going to assess the mark or the name in its entirety. So, hindi lang yung dominant features ang titignan mo, pero kundi all possible features that may constitute a colorable imitation. So, we have an example for this one. Ito naman. Actually, dito sa case na ito, dalawang ginamit, I think they even use dominancy test and holistic test. Ito naman, with regards to San Miguel na naman. And, I don't know what company is this one. No? Asia Brewery. Asia Brewery Incorporated. So, dito naman, you can see, parehas, di ba? Parang, kung hindi kayo talaga nagbabasa ng inom ka lang ng beer, hindi mo siya mag-decipher. But what is the decision in this case? So the decision in this case, you will have to put in a one whole sheet of paper, written. You take note of the GR number, you search it in Google. You take note of the name of the case, Asia Brewery Incorporated versus the Honorable Court of Appeals and San Miguel Corporation. Okay? You make case digest of that case and you tell me what is the decision of the Supreme Court. Whether there is an infringement or not. Kasi interesting yung case na nga. Nakita nyo naman yung picture. No? You'll find out later. Huwag nyo i-google ngayon ha. Listen to me right now. You submit that sa quiz. You tell your other class. Yes, tell the other class. Okay? If they don't have it by next meeting sa quiz, wala na. That will form part as your case study. Okay? The case digest. When I say case digest, kahit sino sa inyo, kahit dalawa pa kayo. When you say case digest, you write the facts, you elicit the facts of the case. Kapag na-open nyo yan sa website, babalanda sa inyo yung buong kaso. You just get the facts, the important facts, the issues, and the decision of the Supreme Court. Okay? Let's proceed. Okay? So, under the holistic test, like under this one, no? Pinakita ko na sa inyo ito before, no? This one, from the other country, hindi ito sa Philippines, sa China. There is infringement in this case, I believe, yung mukha pa lang. Using the dominancy test, there is infringement. Okay? B. Okay? And the color itself, no? Even if you apply the holistic test. Okay? And they offer the same products. Just like Jollibee. No? Wala pa kasing result yung case kasi 2018, 2019 ito na nag-trending na pinost nila. Okay? Wala pang result. Okay? The fourth, or the letter D sa registrability, when it is identical with the registered mark belonging to a different proprietor or a mark with an earlier filing or priority deed. So, hindi mo pwedeng register ang isang mark if, okay, registered na siya, belonging to a different owner or business, or meron nang nag-file earlier with regards to that mark. No? Sabi ko kanina, kapag trademark, a-applyan mo. So, pag may nauna sa'yo, most likely, hindi mo na siya pwede applyan. Okay? In respect of the same goods, lalo na if you are offering the same goods or services, or even if they are not the same, if they are closely related to each other, or if it really resembles such a mark as to likely the same or cost division. Under this case naman, the case of Lane versus Orlane. Ito kasi, I think, beauty products itong mga to. Okay? Meron silang issue dun sa Lane. Okay? And pati yung pagsabi. Pati yung parang manilito ka daw kapag pinannounce mo yung Lane and yung Orlane. Okay? Pero under the law, under the yung sabi ng Supreme Court, walang dyan, walang infringe dyan.
Wait.
Okay? Why?
Sir, bulag rin siya sa R, so yung Orlane may on yun.
Number 5, okay? When you cannot register a mark when it is identical with or confusingly similar to or constitutes a translation of a mark which is considered by the competent authority of the Philippines to be well known internationally and in the Philippines. Ito na yung sinasabi natin na kahit hindi registered yung trademark dito sa Philippines, if it is recognized internationally, okay, that is still protected. Okay, so kahit pa wala siyang database dito sa ating IPO, Intellectual Property Office, if it's well known, protected siya. So it's stated there, foreign marks which are not registered are still accorded protection against infringement and unfair competition. In this case, you apply Section 3 of this law. Okay, yung sabi natin kanina with regards to conventions and treaties. No? Trademark dilution is the lessening of the capacity of a famous mark to identify and distinguish the goods or services regardless of the presence or absence of competition or likelihood of confusion, mistake, or deception. So, say for example, lahat ng products mo, Apple, no? Lahat Apple. Tapos, merong isang businessman gumawa ng Colgate na Apple din, ginamit na din. Although, it's a different thing, no? Iba naman yung pinoproduce niya. That may cause delusion on the part of Apple, di ba? Tapos, pangit pa yung quality ng toothpaste, siyempre, affected si Apple, di ba? So, masisira mo yung pangalan ni Apple, di ba? So, ganun. Yun yung trademark dilution. Okay? Ito naman, F, you cannot register the mark if it is identical with, confusingly similar to, or constitutes translation of a mark considered well-known in accordance with the preceding paragraph. Ito naman, with the preceding paragraph, meaning this one, okay, meaning well-known siya internationally, pero registered din siya sa Philippines. So yung letter E, hindi siya registered sa Philippines. Itong letter F, it is registered in the Philippines. Letter G, you cannot register the mark when it is likely to mislead the public, of course, di ba? Particularly as to the nature, quality, characteristics, or geographical origin of the goods or services. Diba? Dahil yung Jordan na, ano ba yun? Diba? So, it's on your part din, as a purchaser or buyer, to always, diba? Tapos na tayo sa contract of sale, diba? Dapat examine yung binibili nyo. Diba? Kung sa online naman yan, you look at the reviews. If there are reviews. Diba? And you look at the seller. Kasi napansin ko sa Lazada, ang ganda ng tapos tignan mo yung seller, Alam mo yung, ano lang yung seller niya, hindi siya yung legit na store.
Walang check.
Yes. You verify it yourself. No? Hindi naman you put it all on the buyer, on the seller. Di syempre, you do your part as a buyer. No? Para hindi kayo mamislead. Kasi ang public ngayon, compared to before, mas matatalino ang public ngayon. Okay? Pero meron pa rin. And sooner in your life, you will realize na mas madami ang walang alam. Mas madami ang hindi nakapag-aral, hindi nila alam ang ginagawa nila kaysa sa inyo na madaming natutunan sa buhay. Kaya huwag kayong magtaka kung natatalo yung boto nyo sa eleksyon. Kasi ang eleksyon is a contest won by the mass. If you won by the people, you won the vote of the people, okay, you will most likely win. And if you really want to change something, you must look at the people, sino bang bumoboto. Kayo, akala nyo madami na kayo? Ilan ang nag-aaral, ilan ang edukado? Very small yan, I'm telling you. Very small. Kahit pa gaano kayo mag-run sa Facebook, that's a very small crowd. You imagine ilan ang may Facebook pero hindi laging online. Ilan yung mga nasa bukid, yung mga walang access sa internet. Ilan yung hindi nakapagtapos ng pag-aaral. Okay, na everyday umahit sa buhay, walang panahon mag-internet. Okay? If you look at that, you will be shocked na mas madami ang walang. And as a part of a group of people na educated, ang dapat na gawin nyo, you educate those people. Okay, you find them. Kasi sila yung naabuso. Sila yung tinitake advantage. In your own provinces, in your own municipalities, meron. Lalo na yung mga galing sa mga liblib na lugar dyan, sa bundok-bundok. Diba? Ang dami dyan. Kaya nga vulnerable sila kasi mabilis silang ma-persuade. Diba? Tapos sila sa Facebook, kung pumila sila kay Mayor, nagbibigay ng 2,000. And you really, may nakita ko na si Jeremy Codlito, yung payout namin sa DSWD, yung sa educational assistance, may nakapila din yung si Jeremy Codlito. And I know her kasi hindi ko man siguro kilala yung pangalan niya isa-isa, pero yung mukha niya, kilala ko. And lumapit din naman siya sa akin. Kumusta? Kung hindi nyo lang alam na kapag may mga ganong bigayan ng pera, madami ang pupunta. Doon mo makikita kung ilan talaga ang illiterate or yung hindi nila alam ang ginagawa. Even nga, kahit nga scholar yung anak nila, pupunta pa rin sila, mag-claim. Magkikipag-away pa sa'yo. Kasi kapag scholar ka na, lalo na kung galing ka ng UP, scholar ka sa UP, yung anak mo na dalawa, scholar sa UP, hindi ka na pwedeng mag-claim ng educational assistance. Kasi wala silang gastos. Pero still, nag-claim sila. Kasi nga pera yan. No? You imagine how hard it is to get money. Kaya every time na nakaka-receive kayo ng baon, be thankful. Kasi hindi madali yung may pera. Hindi madali ang kumita ng pera. Siguro, hindi nyo nakikita yung hirap ng magulang nyo. No? Na every time na hihingi ka, merong silang maibigay. Pero believe it, trust me. You try living on your own and putting your own food in your own table. That's why you study hard. Para meron kayong salary later on, para ma-enjoy niyo yung sahod niyo and ma-treasure niyo yung pera niyo. Okay? H, you cannot register a mark if it consists exclusively of signs that are generic for the goods or services that they seek to identify. So, hindi lahat ng ginagamit mo sa mark mo or sa name mo, pwede mo exclusively na gamitin na sa'yo lang. No? Pero there are instances, gaya ng siguro itong Ginebra, that they have been using it for a long period of time, that when you say Inebra, you're talking about gin of San Miguel. Wala lang iba. Ganun nila katagal na gamit yung words. No? And meron lang ibang madaming cases relating to that. So other marks na hindi mo pwedeng register consist exclusively of signs or indications that have become customary or usual. No? So, hindi mo pwedeng ipa-register ito kung lagi naman siya ginagamit sa everyday language. No? Hindi mo pwedeng sabihin na ikaw lang ang gagamit niya. Okay? Consist exclusively of signs or of indications that may serve in trade to designate the kind, quality, quantity, intended purpose, value, geographical origin, time, or production of the goods, or rendering of the services or other characteristics of the goods or services, or those consisting of shapes that may be necessitated by technical factors or by the nature of goods themselves or factors that affect their intrinsic value. Now, if you're just using circle as a shape, as a mark, hindi mo naman pwedeng sabihin na ikaw lang pwedeng gumamit ng circle na yun. No? Unless there's a distinguishing feature in that mark or in that logo na pwedeng ikaw lang ang talagang gumamit. Okay? Consists of color alone, like red, kahit anong kulay, hindi mo pwedeng sarilihin na sanila. Okay? Or anything that is contrary to public order or morality. Okay? As regards signs or devices, nothing shall prevent the registration of any sign or device which has become distinctive. Okay, as I've said kanina, no, in relation to the goods. Meaning, when they have been, gaya nito, that the mark has become distinctive as used in connection with the applicant's goods or services in commerce, proof of substantiality. When you have been using that mark, ang sabi kasi dito is for 5 years before the date on which the claim of distinctiveness is made. So ito, kapag nag-file ka pa lang ng application mo, you have to submit proof, actually 3 years or 5 years, that you have been using it exclusively. But there are instances na meron ka ng mark or meron ka ng trade name that you have been using that for a very long time and wala namang ibang gumagamit. May tendency na that mark or that trade name may be awarded to you and pwede mo siyang gamitin exclusively. Okay? The nature of the goods to which the mark is applied will not constitute an obstacle to registration. Kaya nung sabi ko before nung last night, no, yung inasal. No? Although they offer different services, pero may likelihood, meron ba? Meron eh, di ba?
Grabe na ba yun?
Yung inasal niya, parehas eh, di ba? Pero it's very they offer different services. The OK Hotdog Inasal mark is not entitled to be registered, as its use will likely deceive or cause confusion on the part of the public. So, therefore, OK Hotdog Inasal may likely infringe the Mang Inasal mark. No? So, si OK Hotdog Inasal, hindi niya naparegister itong mark na. Okay, kasi parehas naman talaga.
Tinanggal na lang yung mga
Okay. Yeah. We also have the doctrine of secondary meaning. What's the meaning of this? It means that a word or phrase originally incapable of exclusive appropriation. So ito na yung sinasabi ko, when you're using a generic term or a language that is used on a daily basis, hindi mo siya pwedeng sabihin na ikaw lang nagamit mo. Okay, except under the doctrine of secondary meaning. Okay, when it has been used for so long and so exclusively by one producer with reference to his article, that in a trade into that branch of the purchasing public, the word or phrase has come to mean that the article was his property, just like this one. Philips, yung isa, Philites. Although, hindi naman sila parehas talaga, it may cause confusion. There is a strong similitude and likeness between the two trademarks that will likely cause deception or confusion to the purchasing public. Sabi ng court, Philites bears an uncanny resemblance or confusing similarity with Philips. Kilala na, bald din ata si Pilax. Kasi hindi mo na siya mamapansin later on. Next, we go to the last part. We have done patent, trademark. We'll proceed with copyright. So copyright, ang sabi natin noon, these are literary and artistic works. No? So you have the author. Instead of an inventor, you have the author. No? An author is a natural person who has created the work. Instead of collective mark, we have collective work. No? It's a work created by two or more natural persons at the initiative and under the direction of another, with the understanding that it will be disclosed by the latter under his own name and that contributing natural persons. Take note of what we have discussed before under the concept of patent. In case of commission, kung sino yung nag-commission ng work, si commissioner ang may-ari ng patent. In case of employment, naalala nyo, under the employment, si employee ang may-ari if it is not part of his regular duties. Si employer naman if it is part of his regular duties. Same true with copyright. Okay? So, sinong may-ari ng copyright? Si employee, we apply the same rule sa patent. Okay? Okay. Question? Wala? Rental is a transfer of possession of the original or copy of work or a sound of recording for a limited period of time for profit. Of course, you can rent out your copyright. No, parang sa patent rin, pwede mong i-allow ang paggamit or pag-invent no, na-invent mo na bagay. No, yan yung rental. And the payment of that is what you call royalties. Okay? A work of applied art naman, ibig sabihin, it is an artistic art, but it has a utilitarian function, meaning useful siya, pwede siyang magamit. We call that work of applied art. Okay? First, let's proceed with the original works. Original works are literary and artistic works. Okay, you have to refer to works that are protected from the moment of their creation. Take note, you don't really need to register this one. No, as long as from the time that you created it, as long as that is original, that is yours. No. Ang problema mo lang kasi, later on, someone will register that or get your work, no, and they register it under their name. Okay, it will be hard. But you can fight that. Pwede mong labanan. Okay, you can contest the application and prove that that work, whether it is a song, an art, a picture, or whatever it is, no, pwede mo siyang prove na that is your creation. No? Ano yung literary and artistic works? Books, pamphlets, articles, and other writings. Of course, these are literary and artistic works. Periodicals and newspapers, lectures, sermons, addresses, dissertations, letters, dramatic or dramatical musical compositions, musical compositions with or without words, drawing, painting, architecture, sculpture. So lahat yan are all literary and artistic works. No? Hindi ko na sabihin, you just have to read it all, okay? So included dyan ang photographic works, okay? Audiovisual works, cinematographic works, computer programs, you can copyright that, and other literary, scholarly, scientific, and artistic works. Ownership of copyrighted material is shown by proof of originality and copyrightability. Originality means that the material was not copied and evidences at least minimal creativity. That it was independently created by the author and that it possesses at least same minimal degree of creativity. I don't know, no? Yung pinafollow kasi sa TikTok is, yung mga music. Lately, may mga na-discover na mga music na meron pala siyang pinanggalingan, di ba?
Kaya sabi ko kasi nila normal na lang magpapatay sa music industry.
Ang copyright kasi meron siyang term. Gaya ng patent, meron din siyang life. Kapag nag-end yan at hindi na-renew, pwedeng gamitin ng lahat. Oo, madami na actually yung mga nire-revive. Pero meron kasi yung mga melodies, di ba yung mga melodies na kinukuha sa ibang kanta na hindi natin alam. Kasi before, 1990s, early 2000s, we were not aware na they were from other songs. No? Gaya ng Ehens, they were inspired by their own idols. Kapag pinakinggan mo pala yung tugtog ng idols nila,
Halos magkatan.
meron siya talagang similarities. Pero I don't know if that can be contested as copyright kasi parang part lang ng song yung in-adapt nila. And hindi yung whole. Parang in-insert lang nila yung melody ng kanta. Okay? Kaya kapag sobrang tagal na nung kanta, at hindi nare-renew yung copyright, pwede yan gamitin ng public. Madami na actually, may mga binago-bago na sila. Hindi lang siya cover kasi, ang cover kasi, when we say cover, lalo na sa YouTube, pinapanood na cover, that is actually, hindi siya pwede. Okay? Dapat meron kang license to use that. So, maalala niyo yung cover ni yung lalaki na mataas ang boses. Yung kinover niya si Sam Smith. Ano yun? Hindi ko ata, hindi yata. Ano pangalan? Hindi ko maalala yung name niya eh. Sa sobrang galing nung pagkanta niya dun sa yung Wish Bus. Sa sobrang galing nung pinagkanta niya dun, tinake down yung video niya ni si Sam Smith mismo ang nagpa-take down. Kasi mas maganda yung version ng lalaki.
Parang
Kasi akala ng mga nanonood yung mga bago nakadiscover yung kanta niya.
So yung kumanta. Because mas magaling, aminado naman tayo dyan, mas magaling kumanta ang Pilipino talaga.
Sa How Far I'll Go.
Hindi, ano kanta?
Kay Sam Smith?
Hindi ba yung ano yun?
Si Kwan, yung lalaki,
Yung dance.
hindi. Basta yun. Yun na, okay. Okay na yan. Move na tayo. Copying is shown by proof of access to copyright. Of course, kapag ikaw ang mag-claim ng originality, you must show na ikaw talaga ang nag-create. Wala kang pinagkuhanan. No? Ngayon kasi, lahat na naipapakita. No? Even yung mga old songs na may pinanggagalingan pala yung mga kanta na pinapakinggan natin. No? Kasi lahat na ma-access mo. Even, lalo na ngayong panahon mo. No? Works are protected by the sole fact of their creation. Take note by the sole fact of their creation, not by registration. Okay? Hindi mo kailangan i-register. Okay? Irrespective of their mode or form or of expression as well as of their content, quality, and purpose. If you want, kasi pwede kang makapag-grade kasi ng income through royalties pag pina-register mo siya. Every time they will use that, you will earn royalty. Intellectual property code does not require registration of the work to fully recover from an infringement. Diba? Basta na-create mo siya, that is yours, no? That is okay, protected ka from that. If in case merong mag-register niyan ng kanta na yan, you can contest that one and you'll be protected. Okay? News footage is copyrightable, no? Although Section 175, which we will discuss later, states that news of the day and other miscellaneous facts having the character of mere items of press information are considered unprotected subject matter. However, the law does not state that expression of the news of the day, particularly when it underwent a creative process, is not entitled to protection. So this is, when we say news footage kasi, when we say news, that's the idea, the news, yung nangyari, the event, no? When we say news footage, it's the expression of the idea. You get what I mean? Hindi mo pwedeng i-copyright yung news, yung idea, yung event. Pero ang pwede mong i-copyright is how you would express that news or that idea. Kung binalita sa TV Patrol, tapos kinuha mo yung video ng TV Patrol. No, that is not allowed. Kasi copyrightable yun. Pero if you want to take that news and ikaw mismo mag-broadcast sa sarili mo, you can do that. That is okay. No? Kasi yung news or the idea or the event cannot be copyrightable. But the news footage, kapag in-air siya, pinresent siya ng GMA, ng kahit anong news, okay, at may output yan, yan yung copyrightable. Gets nyo ba? Okay. So yun yung sinasabi natin, news footage is copyrightable. Now let's proceed to derivative works. So yung kanina, those are original works. No? Itong mga yan. Books, periodicals, those are original works. Ito naman, these are derivative works. No? The following derivative works shall be copyrightable: dramatizations, translations, adaptations, abridgments, arrangements, and other alterations of literary or artistic works, collections of literary, scholarly, or artistic works, and compilations of data. No? Hindi, wala kang iniba. Kino-compile mo lang, kino-collect mo lang sila. Okay? So yan, hindi kasama ang covers dito. Yung sinabi ko kanina na songs, covers of songs, hindi siya kasama. Okay? The works referred to shall be protected as new works, provided such new works shall not affect the force of any subsisting copyright upon the original work. So, as long as these two, yung dramatizations and collections, will not affect the force of the existing original work. So, ito kasi, from the word itself, derivative, merong original works. Okay? Nagsiserox pa ba kayo ng libro? Hindi na. Bookbind? Bawal ba ang bookbind?
Bawal.
Sino sabing bawal? 1, 2, 3. In addition to the right to publish granted by the author, the publisher shall have a copyright consisting merely of the right of reproduction of the typographical arrangement of the published edition of the work. So it is only the publisher who can reproduce. Hindi si Xerox, hindi si dyan sa harap ng link.
Tapos may nakalagay
Diba?
ko, dun mismo
But-
dun sa book na ano,
Yeah.
kailangan daw ng permission mo ng ano.
But take note, there is an exception. Okay? There is an exception. That is the general rule. It's only the publisher who can reproduce the book or any literary or artistic work. The idea or the event is different. Ito na yung sinasabi ko niya regarding news footage. The idea or the event is different from the expression of that idea or that event. We have the idea, which is the news or the event, and the expression of that idea, which is the news footage. Okay? Hindi ko na ulitin kasi nasabi ko na.
Diyan din po ba nagpo-fall yung mga citations dun sa idea, yung mga nababawal?
What do you mean?
Yung parang pinaparaphrase na ba, nire-retell mo kayo.
Be careful with citations, be careful with those. If you want to cite, you cite them in toto. It's better if you cite them in toto. You cannot cite something and you rephrase it. Kasi mamaya yung pinag-rephrase mo is different than what you are trying to cite. Okay? So be careful with that. There is a rule on that. Okay? Copyright or economic rights. Ito yung right ng isang copyright holder. No? The copyright holder shall have exclusive right to carry out, authorize, or prevent the following. So, hindi pwede na i-reproduce mo without the consent. You cannot dramatize, translate, adapt. Lahat yan, hindi mo pwedeng gawin, no? So, yan yung copyright or economic rights. Limitations on copyright. Now, this is what we call the exception. So, sinabi natin kanina, si publisher lang ang pwede mag-reproduce ng artistic or literary works. But we have what we call the fair use doctrine. What is the fair use doctrine or the fair use principle? Fair use principles, the fair use of a copyrighted work for criticism, for comment, for news reporting, for teaching, including multiple copies for classroom use, scholarship, research, and similar purposes, which is not an infringement of copyright. So what do we mean? Kapag pina-xerox nyo, let's say for example, yung libro ng kaibigan nyo, because you want to use it for school, that is not an infringement. That is fair use. That becomes infringement if you do that and you sell it. You know, you gain from it. Kasi ang sabi dito, for criticism, for comment, for news reporting, for teaching, no? For classroom use, scholarship, research, and similar purposes. And with that, we have the 4-factor test if there is indeed fair use or not. So meron tayong 4-factor test. Take note of this. The first one is you look at the purpose and character of the use. No? Para saan ba? For commercial ba? Papaserox mo yun ba yan? Para later on, yan ang i-distribute mo sa mga next the second year or third year. Para sa'yo lahat sila bibili ng libro na papagandahin mo, di ba? Ganun ba? Or you will use it for educational purposes. No? That's the first test. No? The second one is the nature of the copyrighted work. What is it? Is it a book? If it's a book, where do you use the book? You use it for school? Or you use it for teaching? Now, if it's for teaching, that can be considered as fair use. Okay? The amount and substantiality of the portion used in relation to the copyrighted work as a whole. So ito kasi medyo guilty lahat, no? Pero usually, ako din, kapag nagpapaserox ako din, lalo na ng law school, kasi mahal ang libro, no? Ang pinapaserox ko lang yung kailangan niya. Kasi kapag pinaserox mo yan na buo, may tendency na baka na may bebenta mo yan kasi kaya buo ang pag-photocopy mo. You take a look at that. The amount and substantiality of the portion. Ako noon, kung saan nag-start yung topic, yun ang ipapaserox ko. Bakit? Anong babasahin ko sa forward, sa preface, di ba? Table of contents, I can mark it off. In fact, my books are all marked. No? Di ba? Hindi mo naman kailangan yung sa last na part, then sa start na part. Sayang. As a student, din noon, it's one way na magtipid ka. No? Imagine mo yung page sa early ka sa harap na matanggal mo. Diba? Tapos kung hindi nyo i-discuss yung mga ibang parts, hindi ko na siya inapakuta. Ganun lang. Okay? And the effect of the use upon the potential market. So paano? Okay, lahat ba ng estudyante sa St. Louis nagpapaserox? So kung lahat yan, paano yung market ng books? Baka walang mabenta. Okay, so you have to consider that. Those are the 4-factor tests to determine whether there is fair use or not. Okay, you take note of that. Okay, the fact that the work is unpublished shall not by itself bar a finding of fair use if such findings made upon consideration of all the above factors. So meaning, hindi lang on a registered o na copyright na registered mo siya pwedeng gamitin. Pwede mo rin siyang gamitin even though the author did not register that one as copyright. No? You can still use the fair use doctrine. Questions? You have questions? None? Questions for next week?
Attorney, pwede po ba yung...
Meron?
Yung last year was... Wala pa yung nakawas, sir.
Ay, ganun. Nakat?
May dalawang last year.
Okay. Questions for next week? Wala kayong question?
Sir, yung content, essay.
For quiz? Pa.
For essay yung
Quiz is essay. Huh?
Your essay.
Whether it's Tuesday or Wednesday, I will talk to your bidal, classroom bidal. Sino? Sa group chat, kasali ka? Doon na lang. Ha? Don't forget, please inform your classmates.
Na-inform na po.
Okay, yes. Sige, sige.
May Ryan.
Question? Wala kayong question?
Para makauwi.
Essay and problem solving, I think. Yung case.
Ay, akala. Sorry, attorney, yung problem solving kasi yung may kinocompute.
Para mag-scientist po baka
Para.
para
Biglang pinasolve siya kung ilan lahat ng sections.
It's important that you case digest yourself.